yes.
Yeah, 89%
I know someone who would disagree, and he's here right now.
I think Larry Elder from KABC, you had said a little earlier that you think this is a civil, not a criminal thing. A lot of people are responding saying, what is wrong with you? Right?
Well, people have been saying that for a long time. For a lot of reasons.
Let me preface this to say, Larry and I are old friends, so look out, okay?
Right.
All right.
Can I also preface this by saying he just had back surgery, and he is on drugs?
I am on drugs.
Now you got the sympathy.
But I was on drugs before the back surgery, so I've remained on drugs. No, Steve, I have no problem with the FBI investigating this. There's a big outcry, and I think for PR purposes, we have to look as if we're concerned about whether or not this 17-year-old was killed.
For PR purposes, come on, a child, maybe not a child, but a teenager was killed.
Well, why are we sure that the authorities in Florida are not investigating it? Why are we sure that they're not on top of it? There are black officials in Florida, black law enforcement officials in Florida who are very concerned about this. The idea that somebody like Al Sharpton or the Congressional Black Caucus needs to yell and scream for the law enforcement authorities to do their job, I find offensive. This case is being investigated. Charges have not yet been filed. It's a difficult case to make. You're going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this man shot this guy without being in fear of his life. You have to get inside his head. It's going to be hard to prove.
Does it remind you, and this is going way back, the Bernie Getz case in New York many years ago?
Very similar, except in that case you recall that subway slayer shot somebody, then went over to the guy and said, you don't look so bad, and shot him again. This is a very different situation. This guy was a neighborhood watch captain, concerned about crime. The 911 call says these guys always get away with it, so clearly he was concerned about crime in his neighborhood. He followed this guy. And
but he followed him.
And under Florida law, as Steve was saying, you don't have to retreat if somebody comes after you. You can stand your ground and fight back.
But he followed him.
He did, and he violated the order of the dispatcher not to follow him. That's why this guy's in trouble civilly, but I don't think criminally.
Let's make the case the other way, Larry. First of all, you often talk about the race card being played too often. Sometimes it's not a card, sometimes it's a racial situation. Even you would acknowledge that at times. Here in this situation, you have a guy, Zimmerman, 28 years old. He's a member of the Volunteer Watch. It's a neighborhood watch that's not official with the other neighborhood watches. He's obviously, it seems to me, to be a guy who loves to be on the prowl, looking for trouble. Or
he's a guy who's trying to make sure that crime goes down in his neighborhood. Don't we want people to care about their neighborhoods?
You take that side of it. There he is deliberately disobeying what the police said. They're very clear to him. They say, hey, back off. We'll take care of that. He has a gun. He shouldn't have a gun. You're not supposed to have a gun on the neighborhood watch. That's something else that you bring up about him.
Of course you can have a gun.
This
is Florida.
Florida has very lax gun laws.
Concealed carry laws.
But I understand under the neighborhood watch rules and traditions, you do not carry a gun. It goes against the tradition of neighborhood watch. It's not the purpose of neighborhood watch to find and shoot somebody.
Well, all I know is that in Florida, you can apply for a permit to carry a concealed weapon. This guy has a concealed weapon. And in Florida, if you are in fear of your life, you don't have to run away. You can stand and fight. This is what this guy allegedly did.
Can you be in fear of your life if you are
following someone? I keep going back to that.
And catch up to that person.
A kid with Skittles.
Let's say,
packing
you
Skittles.
keep saying Skittles. It's not as if, from what I can tell, the guy was running down the street throwing Skittles.
No, but
so he had Skittles, turned around, and as far as the neighborhood watch guy was concerned, he could have been armed. He had no idea.
But he could have gone home and been safe.
We're leaving something out of this, and that is, and you've probably seen it. Apparently, Trayvon Martin was on the phone with a girlfriend. I don't know if it's a girlfriend, but a girlfriend. In the minutes leading up to it, where he is saying on the phone, this guy is following me around, putting my hood up. I'm scared. I think I lost him. I don't know what this guy is. I think I lost him, and then it happened. What do you make of that?
The issue, Stephen, is not whether this is a good shooting. It's a bad shooting. I'm not defending it. I think this guy is in real serious trouble civilly. The question is, did he commit a crime by shooting this guy when he thought that his life was in jeopardy? That's what he's going to argue.
All right. I'm sorry. Change the subject now before you go.
Because, again, I'm going to say he was following him. So change the subject.
What, do you want people not to follow people in your neighborhood if they're in neighborhood watch?
I don't want George Zimmerman.
A bad guy.
I don't want George Zimmerman following me. Okay.
I don't want him following me either.
Okay. Especially. In the interest of time, we're going to move on to